Okay, so the final topic will be the how you want to put or apply the CSS in HTML, as I explained about the HTML and also explain about the CSS, and I'll show you one of the examples where you can put the CSS inside HTML. So this topic will look into identifying several ways to apply the CSS in HTML, and we can look into different styles of embedding the CSS inside the HTML, and afterwards we can apply it to based on the preferences. Okay, right. As mentioned in the previous slide, the CSS is needed to style the web pages, and most of the web pages, the primary language is the HTML itself, and in order for you to look nice, the website to look nice and style and have different styles, so you need to use the CSS itself. So CSS have various styles of properties for you to use, and you can use to change the background colors, the font, the margins, and a lot more properties that can be found. Okay, in this module, you look into different styles or different styling, different ways to style the web pages by inserting the CSS, by applying the CSS, or by embedding the CSS inside the HTML. So there are the three ways for you to apply the CSS. You could use it as an inline CSS, internal CSS or embedded CSS, and external CSS. You can use all three ways um, at the same time, as most commonly people will use external CSS, but sometimes they use external CSS and also they use the inline and internal CSS. The previous examples I show you is examples of internal CSS or embed CSS. I explained to you about the inline CSS. So the inline CSS is used to apply a unique style to a single HTML element. This is where if you want to styling the one HTML element in one document or in one file. For examples, you just want to change the word H1, change the style of the element H1, you can just straight away put the style inside the elements. And but you need to have the attributes. The style will become the attributes of the element. You use the word style as attributes, and then separated the value with the equal sign, and then you put the value, which is a CSS code, the same CSS style. We have the properties, the colon, the value, and also the semicolon, and all those will be put inside the symbol, right? And if you have more than one statements, you can list out the statements, but separated it with the semicolon. And all is will be inside the double quote symbol, right? The same goes like this. This is the second examples. So example above shows that the HTML elements H1 and P will change the font color to red. Okay. So the internal CSS, this is where if inline CSS you put inside the HTML element, for the internal CSS is you have to put one you create one HTML element and put inside the head, right? Inside the head, as examples here. So you have to create one HTML element with the word style, and then you put all the CSS syntax inside the HTML style element, and this style element will be put inside the head. And the code is actually the same. You have to put the selector. The selector is the elements that you want to change, and then you open the curly braces. Then you have the properties, and the properties you have to put the colon to separate the properties and the value. And at the end of the statement, you have to put the semicolon. If you have more than one statement or declarations, you can put different statement and declaration, and then afterwards it's After you finish up all the decoration, you can close the curly braces. So this is called internal or embedded CSS, but the result will be the same. And the last one is external CSS. This is where you have to open a new sheet, open a new documents, open a new files, and then name it as the CSS extension, and then you can just write all the syntax of CSS. The same goes like the previous one, but you put the selector. It has a selector which is consists of HTML elements that you want to style, and then you open the curly braces, and then you put the properties, the colon, and also the value, and end with the semicolon, and close it with the curly braces. You can put all these different selector is separated with the body of the syntax by using the open and curly braces. If you have more than one statement, it's the same thing. If you have more than one statements, you can list it inside the pair of the curly braces, and then separate it with the semicolon. But if you use this external CSS, you need to put the link inside the head elements and call out the names that you have saved before this. I'll show you later. Okay, the codes is like this. You have to open the angle bracket, and then put the word link, and then rel for relations, and then equal sign, and then open the double quote here, put the word style sheet, and close the double quote, and use the attribute href for reference to the file that you want to use, or to the file that you want to link, and then put this file name of the CSS and close the double quote and close the angle bracket. So this will call the file that you have created. Bear in mind, the file should be inside the same folder, as they don't have any folder declaration here. If you put in different folder, then you have to declare the folder. Okay, so whatever it is, the result will be like this. Even if it is inline, even if you put this as internal CSS or external CSS, the result will be the same. Except for the inline, you need to also change the body color lah for this one. Right? For examples, this one, you have to put also body style equals to background color powder blue, semicolon, with the double quote, open and close, and then close the angle bracket. Okay, so I'll show you the examples before we end. Right? So if let's say supposedly everything should be inside the folder. Okay. If let's say you want to start, I showed just now. If you have, for example, choose P, okay, right? Okay, so if it's inline, then you have to put style here equals to color. For examples, blue just now, right? Okay, and then you just close this one. Right? If you have more than one, for example, text align, you can just put text align center. Right? Semicolon. Okay, so this is for inline. For example, I'll save it as inline. Okay, I think we create a new folder here. Right? Lab. Right, so we put here, oops, we already have the lab. Okay, alright, save as new folder. Okay, open it, and then one. Right, so just close this one, so you can see if it's this one. So change to the color blue with the text text align center. So if let's say you want to put outside, so you have to create a new file, new CSS file. That is inline CSS. So maybe you can put here P, you have the selector P, and then we have the word color. So we have blue, semicolon, and then we have the second align, the second properties, text align. We have the word center, semicolon, and we close the curly braces, and then we save. For examples, I have to put inside the same folder, and I give it name style.css. Save. So if you look at here, I don't put this one. For examples, I just delete it. Okay. Just delete it. Or I can choose put second name, save as, testing 2, so that you can see the difference. And I deleted this one. Okay. Right, so if let's say we preview it in the browser, okay, right, so it's black color because we don't put any link. So we can use the external CSS that we created just now, style.css, by putting it inside here, link, rel, and use style sheet. Okay, and then href, you can browse, or might be you can just write the name. Because I'm using Dreamweaver, so I just put browsed and then put. Because we already created inside the external CSS here. Okay, and then you save. Oh, we save here. And then we go into the browser. So you can see this one is the previous one. Or I changed this one. And then the other one is, okay, we browse it again, Firefox, so you can see the difference. This one before, this one is after. So because it's used the CSS, you can see the file is testing2.html. Right, so this is actually inline. You put inside the selector, the elements. This one you don't put here, but you put it outside. Okay, as external CSS, we just call it. The other one is the one that I will show you before. Okay, I just see that as testing 3. Okay, so we just delete here, and then let's put the style here. It's the same thing. We just put the selector, and then you just put the color, and also the text line. If you see, the code is the same, except we put it in different places, right? And then you see, right, because we change this one, so it's the same thing. We just preview in the browser. You can see testing 3, it's resulted the same. Okay, so it's the same, except how you want to use is different. Okay, which one is which? It depends on the needs of the HTML cell, the needs of the display of the web browser. External is best if you have more than, we have lots of pages of website. You can just write the codes one and just call it. and you can use it in different files. For inline, if let's say within that specific file and within specific statements, you want to change the styling, so you can use the inline. For internal, if you have the specific pages, only that specific pages use different styling, so then you can use internal CSS. So they have different needs. Normally we use more than one style. We apply how to applying the styles. Okay, so CSS is an essential property that is used mainly for styling the HTML elements, and it's up to you which one that you want to use. But those are the three ways that you can use to style the CSS. Okay, thank you. Hopefully, it helps you in understanding on how to insert the CSS in HTML. Thank you.